Hi all. In the previous video we have seen fixed size array, unpacked packed array, dynamic array. So now we will be focusing on this associative array. Let's take on a new. So here we will be working on associative array. So before going to associative array, let's see the dynamic array. So why we have introduced to the associative array, those things, what are the drawbacks I can say for the dynamic array. See, normally in the dynamic array, like no doubt during simulation time, the size of the array can be changed, like it can be increased, decreased, that varies as per our need. So let's see an example, like we have an array bit 7 down to 0, uh, array name, and here like this is declaration for dynamic array. And usage, like in the initial begin statement we used to declare a memory of that array. Let's say here array 1 we have declared, like array 1 is equals to new and the size of the array. So we need to write it like in this way. So one way, and based on that we will be writing data and all. So if you observe here, the depth of the array is only restricted to integral types, but in associative array that is not the case. Like it can be integral, it can be string, it can be enum, any data type. This is with respect to index I'm telling. So let's see that on example in the sense how associative array is declare, like declaration. Let's say I will be just using this bit 7 down to 0, and associative array I'm just declaring the array name, and here I will be writing one int kind of thing. Like if I don't use this int, that becomes dynamic. And if I write something here, let's say I'll be writing, so this will be um, fixed size array. So now we are just telling about the associative array, right? So we will be not going with the fixed and all that, all things we have covered in the previous video. So here in the index, we will be writing that like integer kind of thing. So now the syntax will be for this associative array is like the data type, the variable name, and the index. That can be integral, string, enum, or any real, even we can write a real as well. So here like data type, variable name, and the index. So index will be anything, like it can be string. I'm repeating multiple times. So it can be integer, string, enum. So let's see an example. Like I will be considering this one only. Like here, declare an array for associative. Like I'll be just declaring this um, bit and associative array. Just variable name. Even you can write anything here. So here I'll be writing this int. So this is the one thing. And also like in the dynamic array, like we need to allocate the memory, but here that's not the case. I can write directly. So inside the initial begin. So here, if you notice, like normally we need to declare the memory, right? Here that's not the case. I can write any number here. Like I can start from 5, even I can start from 2, 5, 10, anything we can be using. Let's say another example, like I will be giving 7, I'm assigning value to 4, and that variable name, and I will be writing this 10 and just write it 6. So this is the one way, like normally I will be saying. And if you see that we have many things in the sense the methods of the array, like methods or function, like normally we will be having in the dynamic array we have seen that delete and the size. So here we have some more functions. Even though we have this delete and size, let's say here we have the number, like it will tell how many numbers are there in that array. Number is there and the size, it's almost same. One thing, let's go one by one. Like here we have the first, like what will be the first index and last index, and the previous one and the next one, and also the delete. So if you want to check like what is the first number of that array, meaning the first index and the corresponding value. So let's instead of going with theory wise, let's consider an example, and we will be working on the EDA playground. So let's open a EDA playground here. Okay. So here just type module TB and end module, declare an array. As we have seen that we have declared array with bit 7 down to 0, and variable name associative array we have given, and here we have added that int. So one way, and it is a declaration, and using inside this initial begin block, let's add initial begin. So now just copy this and paste one by one. So directly we are writing the value. Let's say here we have given 5, right? And I will be giving the number 2. Like it is just on bit wise, right? So I have given this as a bit, and the integer is 5. So in the same way, just copy it and paste it. Like write some any number. 5 is there, and 7 and 8 and 12. So update the values. 4 I can write, and 7 I will be writing. Let's write this as 10. And now check like display array. Select in simulator. Run it. See here we can see that, right? All the numbers whatever we have given, like this is the index 5 and the value will be 2, and another index is we have given 7 and the value will be 4. Even though normally this 0p that will be declared in hexadecimal, so 10 will be a. So one way, and if we want to see in let's use that for each loop. For each of I, and begin. Okay, associative array, and let's write the values and in decimal. So see here we have given this percentage d, right? So normally integer will be having 32 bit, so 32 bit other memories are reserved for them. So see 5 7 8 12, the index will be this one, and the corresponding value whatever we have given. So let's add 0 here and 0 here as well, and see. So that's the use of writing our sequences in normally in industry we write this percentage 0d and all. See the readable format is proper. Okay, so we have written associative array without declaring memory and all. So now go to the functions. Functions as I was explaining earlier, right? Like first function, last those things. Like these are the number, size, first, last, previous, next, delete. So if I see, like we will be writing one by one. So for writing that one, like first we need to um, assign the one integer. See, normally we are okay. Let's go to one way, like associative array. And if I add, so we should need some integer kind of thing, right? Here we just have the integer. So to write that integer, like declare on integer index, I will be saying. So write that index here. That this will be corresponding to a number, and that represents some integer value. So for this one, let's declare that index and some value. Just say that I will be writing some number. I can say 2. So now check, like as the integer value, like this index will be having 2. So now let's say that write it. Okay, so here I want to write the function, right? So here that array name and the first function I want to check. So let's say that this is the way we can write the index. So let's say I'll just copy one example here, display statement, associative array. So let's add this the proper name. First index of associative array is percentage p, and the corresponding number index I'll be writing. Save it and run it. Okay, so here percentage p and d both are coming, so we will be getting error. Save and run once again. Line number 25, int index is not. Okay, see, declaration of this one should be the above. See here, the number, even though we have given index any integer number 2 we have given, and that will be considering that as an input to the first one. So it is looking for what is the first index of that associative array. So here we have given 5, right? So display will be 5. So now the first number of that variable, even let's say if I don't comment it here, let's say normally by default it will be 0, and associative array dot first, that meaning associative in the sense that variable that first and the index. See here it will be coming as a 5. So this is the one thing we can notice. And next one, first is there, and if I want to check for the last, let's say copy this and paste it. First and see the number whatever we have assigned earlier, right? The last index will be 12. So the last index of that associative array, we are saying this print as a 12. Now if I want to add the next one, see, even though we have like at the end after that end, we don't have anything. So let's say I will be adding next here. So it's a corner case I can say. So write it next and run once again. So what we will be getting is the next, that will be end of the index, and that will be the last one. So no next after that, even though we are calling this next method, but that is limited to that 12 only, like the last itself is the 12. So this is the one thing. And now if I remove this and add here, right? So see the observation. Now first index is 5 and next should be 7. So next will be getting the 7 and the last will be 12. So 5, 7, 12 is the expected. 5, 7, 12 is the expected. So now this is the one thing. And if I want to check for the previous of that last, like even though we can play with this index number, we will be considering that as well. So let's say PREV. So previous. Like here we are going one by one. So we should be getting 8 as well. So the previous of that last is 8. So one way, and if I want to delete that array, right? Just consider this one. So the array number like here is 8, right? Next time 8 will get deleted if I run this one. See, deleted. So whatever the array we will be having. Okay, now let's add the number. Now let's add the values to this one. Mm, associative array and the index I'll be adding here. So add each of this one. That will be having double confirmation. Save it and run it. Okay, sorry, we have missed this adding this value. So we'll be getting error, no doubt. Okay, it's look like okay. Let's run and see one more time. Hmm. So now the 5 will be having 2, 7 will be having 4. You can see 5 2 7 will be having 4, 8 will be having 7, 8 will be having 7, and the last index 12 will be having 10. So now the index here, the value during our simulation time, index will be 8. So now I am deleting that 8 one. So that will be value will be 0. That array value, whatever it has, it got deleted. So this is the one thing. And next, if want to we have the one more method that array is exist or not. Let's say here associative array uh, dot exist, that index in the sense uh, let's take an example like let's say I have added 5, right? So I can just write this array exist or not. So I will be using this one if condition. If this array exists, then begin, and so just add a dollar statement. I will be adding index itself here. So let's say now assigning index to do some values. Let's say 5 I will be assigning, and that index itself I will be adding here, and begin end. If not, else display not exist. begin end. Let's add this. Yeah, it's look fine. One, let's see if I want to add begin end here for this one. Even though it's not necessary to add single statement begin end, but it's better to add. If we want to add something more in the begin end, we can add it. See, array exists at 5. So now if I add number 6, right? Let's see what we'll be getting. See, array does not exist here. So array does not exist. Now, even though we have deleted, right? The array value like index was corresponding to 8. So now if I add 8, let's see what we will be getting is that we don't have array. Even though we have added here in the 8 as 7, right? So we are deleting that array. So that doesn't exist. So we will be getting this message. Array does not exist at 8. So these are the functions, and also the use case of this array normally in the uh, register and address. Let's say we have the memory, so we need to write some addresses and some data. So at that address, consider this only, right? So at this fifth address, the data will be 2. At this eighth address, data will be 7. So this is the use case I can say. So this is just about the integer. And if want to um, work more on the string type, right? I have written one more code here. I'll just copy and just like instead of typing one by one, I can explain about this one. So just take an example of this one. I have by ChatGPT. So here what I will be writing is like in the previous video we have seen that integer. Now we will be seeing with the string. Like I'll be writing like I'll be using that as some string. So now I'm assigning like some data string value like I'm giving my name Maula, Habib, Khatib, and I'm from Bijapur. So these things I have just normally written. So if I want to check the size, okay, like we have missed this dollar size array. Okay, so just write one more thing, copy it and paste it. If I want to check the size, right? Size of the array, add it to the index number. Okay, save it and run it. Maybe this display is not proper. Size of the array is this one. See here the above call function done with the more arguments, whatever it was needed, right? So I just value. Uh, so we don't need this value here, and this just a index. So here add this itself. So now check the size of array associative array is like I'm just giving one. It will return some number, right? So here let's save it and run it. So in the earlier like we have this 4, right? Why it is giving an error? Syntax error. Okay, sorry. So we have written 4 variable for depth we have written, and even though we are deleting, so we should be getting 3. So size of the array, the function done with more arguments, whatever it is needed. Array size. Okay, so we have added some variables right here. Okay, check this size. So size of the array is 3. So this is the one thing. Now coming back to our another code. So just see here, like if I want to check that array exists, like I'll be giving string Bangalore. So if it exists in this array, it should say that array exists, and if not, doesn't exist. So run it. Okay, select the simulator. See, the first, okay, size will be 4 and number of entries of that array will be 4. That's the one thing, like we have seen size and total number of entries. So now, like I'm giving, like I'm checking that number that doesn't exist in my string, right? So I'm just giving Bangalore. So here in Bangalore we don't have, so we should be able to see an element doesn't exist. So an element doesn't exist, we are able to see. And now, like I'm assigning that index Habib. So in this case, what will be my the first index? So the first index will be taking Bijapur. So since the first index that will be corresponds in that will be taking in alphabetical order. If I add some, let's say here instead of this Khatib, if I add A underscore Khatib, right? So now we will be able to see A underscore Khatib as a first uh, index. The first index will be like this is the way, like it is taking alphabetical order. So and if I want to take the next one, A after A, that B will come. So Bijapur will be my next array. And if I want to take the last, as in as it is a string, so it will go to Z, Y, X. So the reverse way it will go. So if I see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and the here we can see that M will be the last one. So the last index is corresponding to this Mola. So and if I want to check that the value, what is the Mola will be having, it has a value 3. And after M, so what is next? Like M itself is the last one. So that again next will be the itself will be the Maula. So one thing, and previous to Maula, what will be coming? Habib. So previous to where it is. So we have added this previous one. Okay. So I'm assigning that. Okay. See here. The next was okay. So we are writing this Khatib. So K L M. After this K, next will be M. So again that print will be for Maula only. And now index I have updated to Habib. So if I want to check previous to Habib, like let's say here we have written A B C D E F G H H. So before A, that like before Habib we have this B. So that print will come for Bijapur. So it's a alphabetical order. So we can write this string, and the number even we can write here itself as like bit, right? Here I can write this int as well. So check here anything we have specifically mentioned. Okay, so here it's a integer type. So I'm assigning the integer values 3, 6, here 9. So this is all about the associative array. And if you consider with respect to interview, they may told you, they may tell you to write associative array with some example. Why do we need associative array? What's the use case? How we can write? What are the methods? So these are the things they can ask. Yeah, thanks.